Hello, everybody, and welcome to Adaptive Consultations Part 2. I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. I hope that you enjoyed Part 1, where we discussed the 3 phases of consultation. I hope that in this segment, we answer all of the questions that you have about salon policies and new guest forms. So let me go in here, enter full screen, and let's get right into it. So adaptive consultations part 2. So when I was building this course, I was like, I can totally talk about consultation for 5 days straight. There's so many little things and just little moments of experience where, like, well, if this happens, do this, or if they say this, do this. And it's all based on experience, guys. So if you're just starting out in the industry, just know that the longer you're in the industry, the better it gets. And if you're just starting out in the beginning, the consultation and communication part of the service can be really difficult. So you're not alone in that. And I hope that by utilizing what you learn on this class, you'll be able to kind of cover your ass, which is the theme of this presentation. And I think that it will really help. So we have our class overview. Today's topics, we're going to go into new guest forms and salon policies. Now, these are my policies that I had at my salon. This is the dialogue that we used, the systems that we used. This was kind of our answer to common problems and questions. Now, when we go through this, you can look at mine and be like, I love the way she does it. I love the way she says it. I'm going to use that for my business. I think that our clients are similar. I think that it works. You can totally do that. Now, my clientele might not be the same as your clientele, and you might have to tweak things and make them your own. And that's totally fine. You can utilize what I give you as a base and plug in your variables. So don't feel attached to my information. Really just use this to open your mind and open doors so that you can create your own. Let me give you what I've learned, and then you take it and create whatever you want, and that's your legacy, right? So please have freedom and flexibility to do that. This information is what I've compiled over years and years of experience and education, and please make it your own. You have my blessing to do that, because when you do that and you make it your own and you let yourself shine through everything, that's when it's going to actually work for you. So I'll introduce myself for any of you guys who don't know me yet. My name is Gina Bianca. I'm your teacher. I am a salon owner at the Network Salon in Connecticut. I am the global salon business expert for Joico. I'm an independent educator and coach for Gina Bianca, aka myself, my own side hustle that turned into my life. And I have been doing color for 12 years. I'm a brand spokesperson, social media influencer. I have 2 beautiful puppies. I'm engaged, and I love to cook. So it's a little bit about me in a nutshell, but enough about me. Let's learn. So adaptive consulting level 2. The reason for this presentation is sometimes things don't go as planned. So sometimes, even though you have the best intentions for the appointment, sometimes things don't go as planned. Life happens. Murphy's Law. Sometimes people lie. Sometimes we run out of time. Sometimes things happen. Not everything in life is perfect. So preparing for that and setting up systems to protect yourself will really help as a stylist. So sometimes guests also aren't listening. So sometimes you can say something to them and you can think they totally get it, but they just don't remember that you said it. And they don't remember taking it in. It's more like selective listening. And we all have that. How many of you guys have selective listening? Like, you only hear what you want to hear. My fiance makes fun of me all the time for this, because he'll be like, I told you this 5 times. And I'm just like, I never heard it, probably because I didn't want to. So sometimes the guest is not listening, and you can let them know, like, hey, yeah, in the consultation, I told you we'd have to do a haircut. And they're like, we never talked about that, or I don't want to cut it anymore. You know, people always have free will. We know that, but sometimes the guests just aren't listening, or sometimes they change their mind, and we have to keep them on course and make sure that we make it known any risks or anything that could happen. So sometimes things go bad too. Sometimes hair breaks off. It sucks, right? Sometimes guests go home, their husband doesn't like their hair, and they come home and want to redo because it's our fault, not theirs. You know, sometimes things go bad. And when you deal with the general public and when you deal with people, you know, you just got to be prepared for it. And it is what it is. So you kind of got to just adapt and really make sure that you hope for the best, expect the worst, prepare for the worst, and have something set up to protect you. That way, when you go to work, you'll just feel much more secure and you kind of know, like, okay, well, if this happens, this is what I'll do. I hope that makes sense. So instead of saying, instead of saying no or living in fear or losing money or resenting our clients, we must adapt. We must protect ourselves whenever we can. So I hope this class helps you do that. Okay. So, what are we protecting ourselves from? Unrealistic expectations, crazy cuckoo birds, no-shows, redos, last-minute cancellations, hair nightmares, and just general unpleasant experiences. So there's no reason we should be going to work and being stressed and anxious. Like, we should be protected at work. And if you are in charge of that, you have to take leadership of it. If you're not, maybe find a place that has their shit together, right? So if you go to work and there's no systems and you don't know like what's going to happen, like that is stress and anxiety and uncertainty. So if you have the power to create that for yourself, create it. If not, maybe move on, right? So that's the answer for that. Like, so what do I do if my salon doesn't do this? You know, you have to make that choice. And that's always a question that comes up. I can't tell you to quit your job. I can't tell you to live a certain a life, you know what I mean? But the answer sometimes is you got to remove yourself from the situation, and that's up to you. So feel empowered to make that choice based on what you want out of this career. So part one is our new guest form. So we want to cover all the bases. We want to go through guest information, hair history, contact information, special offers, and referral programs. So anytime you do a new guest form, this is a great template. And if you do it online, if you do it through a Survey Monkey, however you want to do this, guys, whatever is going to work well for you, only you know that. So however your system is set up, however you collect information, whether it's a pen and paper, whether it's a Google Doc, whether it's a PDF, whether it's a, you know, they fill it out right on the phone or on the screen, however you have it set up is totally fine. But let's go through what you should be collecting. So guest information, huge. You want to get their full name spelled correctly, spelled correctly, spelled correctly. Make sure that it's spelled correctly, because if it's not, you're going to end up having duplicate profiles and you're going to end up having miscommunication. So make sure their name is spelled properly. Get their phone number in there and make sure you sign them up for text and email reminders. Ask them if they want to opt in too for your special offers, and that's how you're going to start creating your email list, which is critical and important, because if Instagram goes away, if you lose your job, if this happens, whatever, email list backs up your contact information. So build your email list and start doing that now. Even if you feel like it's not important, start building your email list. And honestly, emails aren't going to be around that much longer. Phone numbers are probably where it's at. Text communication, text email, text response, right? So get that information for them to opt in. You can get their birthday if you do something for their birthday, but if you don't do anything for their birthday, what's the point? You know what I mean? Don't ask for the birthday if you don't do anything with it. Some things you could do is you could do a $20 off, you could do a card, you could do whatever, you know, your brand does. Make sure you get in there their hair history. So right when they fill it out, you should know if there's box dye you're working with, if they have well water or hard water, because if you're lightening through that, you could run into some chemical reactions. Ask them if they've had a color correction within the past 2 or 3 years. Just be like, have you ever had a color correction? You know, see if they have, because what we see isn't always real, right? So like my hair looks just like a regular brown. However, underneath here is 2 years of bleaching. So if you put lightener on here, even though it looks healthy and looks fine, this could be a total nightmare. So put on there, have you had a corrective color? Have you had bleaching? Have you had a perm or relaxer within the last 2 years? Have you had any keratin treatments? These ones, just quick, get it out of the way. You can scan over it and then you know what questions to ask later. These will kind of cancel out questions as well if you can just get this out of the way. Ask them about any prescribed medication, ask them about any allergies. You never know. Someone could have a peanut allergy and you're passing around something with peanuts. Just very nice to know if they have any allergies. At the bottom there, it says, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not showing any signs of sickness, including cough, fever, tiredness, difficulty breathing. Those are the COVID-19 symptoms, which during the time that we're recording this, we're in a time of change where we could in the future have, some changes in our industry, but we don't know what those changes are. So something I put on this new guest form is a health screen, health agreement, basically just letting your guests know that it's important to you that they come to the appointment healthy. If you have these sent out to them in advance, it's very good to know that if they are feeling these, to cancel the appointment. So I would definitely put that on your confirmation email, on your new guest form, some kind of waiver where they're agreeing that they're not showing these symptoms, especially during times where it's important that people are healthy. So you can choose to keep that on there. We don't know how the world is going to change. We're just going to assume that everything is going to be great and we'll just prepare for everything as it comes. So we're going to have hair history, contact information, the opt-in feature, and the referral program. So always asking, how did you hear about us, and keeping track of where your marketing efforts are paying off. Cool. So those are our new guest forms, and you can totally use the downloads that you get with this course and customize them. I would always recommend customizing any templates that you get. Nothing is ever plug and play when you have a brand. Your brand is you, and anytime you try to plug and play and copy, it does not work out because it's just not you. Like, how can you live by something you didn't create, right? So utilize all of this information, utilize these PDFs and templates and everything you can edit, but make it your own. Make sure your voice is shining through. Cool. Take some processing time to catch up. Amazing. So now we're going to go a little bit deeper into salon policies. And the salon policies, basically for every business, you're going to have different things that you're going to have to bring up and create systems around. So typically, those are your pet peeves. So when people show up late, what happens? When people no-show their appointment, what happens? When people cancel last minute, what happens? When people want their hair redone, what's the system? So what I did is I took all of ours and I'm going to go over them with you so you guys can kind of see what we've created, and then you have these with your course so you can completely update them and create your own. And you can totally add more pet peeves that you have or more systems and any policy that you want. You can literally have a policy in there that all of your staff must wear polka dots every day. You know what I mean? Like, you can literally put whatever you can dream of in this. So any pet peeves that you have, anything like that, put in there. And if it's happening over and over and over again, you need to have a system around it. So don't be afraid to protect yourself. And I hope that this gives you kind of the beginning platform to creating all of the systems for your business, because really, just think about the pet peeve. Think about the thing that you don't want to happen anymore. Think of the solutions. Think of what you're going to do and how you're going to hold people accountable. What happens when we do this right? What happens when we don't do this? We need positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement. We want to make sure there are consequences and accountability if we don't follow through. So make sure, at GBH, when we were open and with my employee-based business, I really wanted everybody to give the same shampoo. So for the first 6 months of being open, I had every single guest at the front, I would say, did you get a hot towel with your shampoo? If they said no, their service was completely free. Okay. So that's the level of accountability I wanted on my team-based salon, for everyone to be giving the same shampoo. So I told the stylist, I was like, you guys, we're asking every single guest if they get a hot towel. Make sure that you do the hot towel. Here's reminders everywhere of doing the hot towel. If they get the hot towel, we're good. If they say they didn't get it, their hair is free. And then we're going to have a conversation. And that happened because multiple times we're just not doing it. And it's just like, all right, now we need to have some serious accountability. This is how systems are ingrained. And then we just gave the best shampoo in the state. We had best shampoo in the state, best wash house experience, best hot towel, best everything. And, I'll brag on my business all the time because we worked so hard to create that. And you should too. You should be proud of what you've created and you should be proud to share it. And proud to hold people accountable. So any policy that you have, any pet peeves that you have, feel free to make policies to protect yourself. So the first one is the health policy. We touched on this briefly, and honestly, this is as much information as I can give you on it. To the best of my knowledge, I'm not showing any signs of sickness, including cough, fever, tiredness, or difficulty breathing. Those are all of the symptoms that are for the current health pandemic that's happening now. Anything outside of that, you can put there. You could just put good health. I'm not contagious, whatever you feel comfortable putting, but that's the most that you can do, right? And really encouraging your guests to cancel or reschedule if they're not feeling good. Now, would this hold up in court? I'm not really sure. It's really all about how much money you're willing to spend in court. How much money, like with policies and procedures and all of these things, the thing is how much money are you willing to spend in court? So all of these, yes, if worst case scenario, something happens and you get a charge back or you get, somebody upset about something and God forbid something bad happens and you have to go through a lawyer or something, at least you have some kind of paperwork that shows that you're keeping track of your business. So honestly, the health policy, what outcome are you seeking with it? You want to make sure that people don't show up to the appointment when they're sick. So having a health policy on your new guest form, okay, that's cool. That shows that you care. But if you really, really want people to stay home if they're sick, I would have it all over your site, like we're Healthy Salon, like please, you know what I mean? Not all over, but I would have it in your like kind of terms and conditions and like, on your appointment reminder and notification being like, hey, if you're not feeling well, reschedule, right? You can have it in your no-show and your cancellation policy. Just be like, we require XYZ, however, but that's going to open you up to having a lot of people just cancel and say they're sick. Right. So as we get into this new world, we'll kind of see what happens. It's kind of like canceling each other out. So it's up to you if you want to keep something like this on there. So we'll move into the no-show policy. Now, the no-show policy, this is where we are protecting our time. That's the outcome that we're seeking. So number one, what outcome are you seeking with this policy? So with a no-show and last-minute cancellation policy, I'm looking to improve productivity and ensure that we're protecting our salon hours, which are our number one thing we have for sale is our time. So I want to make sure that we are protecting our time no matter what. Protecting our time. So that's what this system is for. So this was ours. Due to the high demand of our artists, we have no choice but to require a credit card to secure all reservations. Credit cards are stored securely and encrypted through our trusted booking software. Please give the courtesy of 24 hours notice for any reservation changes and cancellations. We reserve the right to process the credit card on file. We had 50% of scheduled services, but you can put a fee or a percent. It's whatever you want. There's no answer except whatever you want. For changes and cancellations outside of the 24-hour window, we apply the same policy to no-shows. Thank you for understanding. So we chose 24 hours because we were very quick at filling appointments. If you're not quick at filling appointments, 48 hours. But if you're busy and have a wait list, 24 hours is plenty. You just want to have time to fill the appointment. So if you need 48 hours, put 48 hours. If you need 24 hours, put 24 hours. For longer services, maybe you have a full day. Maybe you need to give 72 hours for a full day, right? So you have to think about that. And it's customizable. And you can just say to somebody, like, this is a thing, having this policy in place, having it written down and having it sent out or having it somewhere where the guest is going to see it, it just levels you up and shows that, you want to be valued and you value your time. So having these policies in place, everybody does, like most businesses protect their time, and you're going to really weed out people who are going to waste your time just by having these in place. So that's the first one, the last minute, or the first two, the no-show and last minute cancellations. The next is the company return policy. So our company return policy, we really wanted people to like their products, and we would just back bar them. We would just put them on the back bar and use them. But honestly, I don't know if we'll be reusing them anymore. Just because having a lot of people use products, we probably wouldn't. We would just use them on the back bar because it's just, recycling. We're not going to throw the whole product out, but we would have the guests be able to come in and swap it out for something else or have them get store credit, but we would never issue refunds ever. So we would guarantee every product in our salon during our service. We strive to educate you on how much, how often, and how to apply each product. If you find that the product doesn't perform the way you were expecting, feel free to bring it back and swap it out for a different product, or we're happy to show you how to use the product again. Basically saying we're here to help. We're here to help. How can we help? We're unable to issue refunds for any product since we'll not be able to use them after they've been opened, right? So make sure if you have a no refund policy on something that you put it out there. There's reasons we don't do refunds. You can't do refunds for a lot of things because you can't get that money back. So I can't sell that product again to somebody else. It wouldn't be ethical. So because of that, I cannot issue you a refund, but I can give you store credit, right? So make sure that that's written out and explained, or else you're going to have a bunch of stylists at your salon who just don't really know what's going on, or management that just don't really know what to do. And it's going to be an inconsistent look for your business, which is never a good look. Oh, this is a long one, but it's great. So this is our company guarantee. And this guarantee is pretty much what we had everywhere and what we talked about before every single service. And basically, we would give them the gist of it and then have them read it over and initial it on the new guest form. So if you go back to our new guest form, if you look, you can put on the bottom the health policy. You could put the no-show and last minute cancellation policy. You can have them initial here for everything, or on an iPad. You could just be like, do you understand the company terms and conditions? And you can put all of this on one page. And that's how it's kind of set up in your PDFs, right? So this is kind of what I would say. I would just be like, Sally, you know what? I just want to let you know that no matter what, if you're ever unhappy with your hair, I want you to always feel comfortable letting me know. Call me, let me know so we can make it right. We'll always make adjustments if we need to. And our goal is to make you happy from the time that you leave to the time that you come back. So if you're ever feeling iffy about it, let me know. And this is all of our policies, all of our, all of our systems. So if you want to read this over, if you have questions about it, let me know, but I'm going to go mix up now. And I would let them read it and then come back and be like, do you have any questions? And typically they would just sign and be fine with it. They would read it over. And if they have questions, they let me know, but pretty much everything is self-explanatory. And if you have to go into it more, just go into it more. But 9 out of 10 times, I would just say to my guests, listen, my goal is to make you happy. If you have any questions or need me in between, feel free to reach out. But basically these are all of our things. Just basically give them permission to reach out to you and to be happy, and then make sure that they read and go through all of this. Okay. So this shouldn't take a very long time to go over. It should really just be brought up, touched upon. And in certain situations, when we do the multi-step color agreement in a few minutes, those are where it would take a little bit longer, where your consultation would go from the 25-minute to the 35-minute. Okay. So this is our guarantee and redo policy. So it says, we want you to be 100% satisfied with your overall experience. We know that your hair is important to you, and we want you to be happy from the moment you step through our door until the moment you check out. Honestly, I'm changing that to the moment you come back. I want you to be happy the moment you come back until the moment you come back. I don't want you to be happy when you leave and then not happy until you see me again. I want it to be perfect the entire time. I don't want the color to be fading. I don't want the color to be shifting. I want everything to be perfect for you. And that's what I guarantee. And that's why my prices are higher. And that's why I have policies like this, so that I have high-end clients coming to me. But I have to deliver on the other end of that. Like, I don't get all of this for free, or I don't do all of this for nothing. I do all of this so I can provide an excellent experience. And if you have all of this and your experience sucks, it's not going to go hand in hand. Right? If you are unsatisfied with your experience, we'll make any necessary adjustments so that you can leave our salon feeling amazing. After all, we're trying to build a long-lasting relationship with you and be your trusted salon for life. Please review our updated policies, initial next to each arrow, and sign below to show you understand them. If you have any questions about the following, please ask one of our team members and we'll be happy to assist you. So honestly, in the beginning, when your guest is filling out their new guest form, this was on the back. So it would say like flip over and read and sign. However you want to set this up, that's up to you. You can have this on an iPad. You can have this sent out to them beforehand. You can have everything all done in advance, or you can do it, when they get there, or you can explain it all to them. It's totally up to you. You can send them a video of you talking about all of this. What does the future look like for consultation? Only we will find out. A whole video explaining all of this would be incredible. And then what your clients would be like, whoa, this place is legit, right? So it just takes time, and it takes, the knowledge and education and passion to create something different like that. Instead of saying just, what are we doing today? Take it to the next level. Down here it says, we do not issue refunds. If you're unsatisfied with your hair, we're happy to make adjustments for you. So we don't do refunds, we do redos. Okay. Adjustments can be performed within 10 days of your initial service date. So we're not doing a redo 4 weeks from now. I'm so sorry, but we're not. Adjustments will be full price if you or another professional make any adjustment to the color. So the reason we put this is because people would come in for these big processes and they take a few sessions, and then their other stylist would do something, or someone would gloss it, or they would tone it in between. We're not doing redos because it's just not our work that we're fixing. We're not redoing our work, we're redoing yours. So we're just not doing redos with that. And it would happen a lot when it just in the salon, like a lot of things take multiple sessions. And that was a pet peeve of ours, when people would adjust it at home and then expect us to fix it. And we're just like, no, we're not doing it. And it's full priced. So do everything here or don't. And you know what? Some people didn't like it. And for our business, we wanted to have a clientele that was higher end, and that was what we were going for. So I'm not sorry about it. And a lot of our policies, people were our policies were very strict, but I know the kind of clients that we wanted, and I know the value that we bring, and we can't be bringing this value 24/7, 365 and not be protected. It's just not going to happen. Like, you can't have excellence if I'm just going to be a doormat. It's not going to happen. It's not what we are meant to be doing here. So the next one is, chemical services are only guaranteed if you invest in the recommended shampoo and conditioner from our salon directly. Basically saying, if you do not have product history from my business, I will not redo your hair for free. You buy from me and your shit is guaranteed. That's literally, it has to be like that. Because if they buy shampoo from Amazon, it doesn't matter if they buy it from anywhere else. You just don't know for sure if they got it. And it doesn't matter if they say, I used what you told me. I used what you told me. Just like, you know what? I can guarantee it if it's directly through me. I'm sorry. And having that as an insurance policy, $40 for shampoo and conditioner is a great insurance policy for $250 hair. It's like totally normal. And if you can guarantee their color service for that, you're going to be killing it. Like, if you can guarantee their color service with them purchasing through you, that is just a no-brainer. Like, why would they not protect their investment? And everybody wants the products, everybody wants to go home with all the good stuff that we use. It's not like they don't want it. You just have to show them the value. And if your product that you're using isn't easy to sell, find one that is easy for you to sell. And easy is like, I love it so much that it sells itself. It performs so well that it sells itself. The price is so good that it sells itself, right? You really have to start thinking about that. And if you want to, like in the salon, the different income streams, retail is a whole different income stream. And we're talking about losing our income streams during these crazy times. And, when one income stream shuts off, what's the other? So if you're not selling retail, that's a huge missed opportunity. So just to throw that out there. A redo service has a color fee of XXX per bowl, whatever you want to charge per bowl, whatever your cost per hour is. And really, you have to think about how much does an hour cost? And we'll do a pricing workshop. We're working on that now. That's our next course we're launching. But when you come up with your hourly rate, how long is that extra bowl going to add to your service? Is it going to add an extra 20 minutes of application time? That extra bowl. So the $20 for the color, $20 for the time, like, what is that? Like, who's paying for that? Are you charging for it? These redo services, you have to make sure you're charging something, especially if they didn't invest in the product through you, and covering the cost of color. Right? So a redo service has a color fee of $20 per bowl of color necessary needed to make the adjustments, and includes a blow dry service. So it doesn't have to include one, but it can. It's totally up to you. Your stylist will tell you directly if your goal cannot be achieved in one sitting. So this is huge. And this was part of our training for an employee-based salon. And if it was going to take multiple sessions, I had to tell my stylist, like, you need to tell them like 30 times it's not happening today. Like, and if it's not happening today, then they fill out this form. And the forms are really, really important because they need to understand like they need to understand everything that could go wrong, because if you overpromise and underdeliver, like, our brand will take the biggest hit. Like, I used to tell them, like, my name is on the door. Like, we cannot be promising something and under delivering. Like, we over deliver. Like, we deliver wow, we deliver amazing guest experience, and people like run around here raving about us. Like, that was our thing. Like, we're the best. And the way to be the best is to under promise, over deliver, and look like a superhero, not to over promise and lie and be cocky and under deliver. Like, you have to under promise, over deliver. So if it's gonna take multiple sessions, I put here that your stylist will tell you directly if it can't be achieved in one sitting, or if you have box color. Any person who has box color in their hair immediately just took away my control for the whole service. So anyone who had box dye or who admitted having box dye, basically I just told them, don't know what's going to happen, but I know how to fix almost everything. That's it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know how to fix almost everything. And then we'd have them do our multi-step color agreement. Anybody with box dye. Okay. So let's process that for a second. Whew. It's a lot of info, right? A lot of good info. A lot of things to think about. I'm enjoying my coffee. Hope you're enjoying a nice beverage. All right. So that is the main portion of adaptive consultations too. Now, we are going to go through in part 3 your multi-step color agreement, how to break down a photo, and all of the questions that you're going to ask for a consultation. So this whole segment that we went through, I hope that it opens your eyes to the fact that you can take your entire business and make it run the way you want to. Any pet peeves that you have, anything going on that you want to change, the first thing you have to do is identify the issue. So the issue is clients are coming in late, we're losing money, we're not able to perform the services, we're running behind, guest experience is going down, anxiety is going up, clients are coming in late. So the problem is clients are coming in late. Now we have to figure out what are some solutions, okay? So coming up with those solutions, creating systems, writing them out, presenting them to the customer, following through with them, holding yourself accountable, tweaking it, changing it, growing it as you go. Because like I said, you guys, it's all about experience. It's all about experience. And as you go on, as a stylist, as a salon owner, as an educator, whatever you're doing in this industry, as you grow and as you learn, you're going to develop your ways, your responses, your answers. Like your way is going to be the way. And I hope that this information helps build your foundation so that you feel confident and safe, because when you feel confident and safe, that's when the good and the creative comes out. So when you feel confident and safe and you have at least a couple solutions, I hope that that gives yourself the clarity and it gives your mind time to open up and come up with some new ideas. So we talked about guest information, the new guest forms, hair history, the opt-in and building an email list. We talked about your referral program. You always want to track that. We did referral program in the salon with you get $20, they get $20, but you can make your referral program whatever you want and be creative. It's 2020. You know, we're rethinking some cool things with referral programs, and having a digital option and a digital way for people to brag about you. That's huge, you guys. And there's so many ways to be creative with it. So don't stick to just one way, or don't stick to something you've seen before. Try to expand and do something different. We also went over the salon policies. So we went over the no-show policy, the health policy, which, you know, we never know how the world may change. We always want to always remind ourselves, what outcome are we seeking from this? So if the outcome you're seeking is you don't want to get sick, maybe just share with them in an email. If you're sick, reschedule. You know, maybe that goes out when they do the appointment reminder, right? What outcome are you seeking? And make sure that all of your communications and everything that you share with your guest points to that outcome and doesn't point to, you know, what you think you should be doing or what other people think you should be doing. Make sure it's like all for you and for your business. So let's see. I have a few question and answers, like common questions that are always asked around these. So how do I tell my client about these new policies? So say you go back to work and you're doing your consultations and you are about to introduce your guest to your new redo policy. What I would do is I would practice role playing this with a friend if possible, or someone at home or something. We just practice saying like, hey Sally, I just want to let you know that we've updated our policy a bit. I'm going to have you read this over, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm going to go grab you a coffee, or I'm going to go grab you that water, and just have them read over it. You don't have to read it to them. Like, that's not your job, you know, just have them read it over. And then throughout the appointment, bring up certain things if you need to. And then honestly, the best way is to send all of this to them in advance. So using Google Sheets, using some kind of whatever software you're using on appointment reminders, all of those have the option to include attachments. They have the option to add it to the email. Super easy to do, to just put it out there to your guests. And then on your new guest form, having an option that just says, I agree to the terms and conditions, right? So whatever those terms and conditions are and how you give them to your guests, it's going to be different for your business. So if your business is mostly digital, maybe getting them to the guest in advance. If you're still pen and paper, which is totally fine as well, you can maybe have them fill out a new guest form, have a couple laminated copies of the policy, and just maybe hand them out and have them read and go, have them read and agree and sign and do it on the new guest form. So whatever's going to work well for the system that you have, as long as you get the info to them and as long as the info is yours and makes sense for your business. So the next one is how to ask for a credit card over the phone. So mainly when you're doing your appointment bookings, I urge you to get your entire business online if possible. If people have to book online, they have to put a credit card in and it takes you out of the equation. Plus, why are you booking your appointments when a booking software, a robot can do that for you? Like, you should definitely have online booking. It will save so much time, so much of a headache. Your systems will be clear. All the communication will be consistent and professional. There's no typos and it's just better. Online booking is where it's at. Now, if I were in the salon and I was answering the phone, I would be like, "It's a great day at the network salon. This is Gina. How may I assist you?" "Hi, Gina. I'd like to book an appointment." "Awesome. Have you experienced the salon before?" "No, I haven't." "Okay, great. What's your first and last name?" "My name's Sally Smith." "All right, Sally, I want to let you know that we do require a credit card to hold all appointments. I'm going to give you a second to grab that and I'm going to start building your profile. How does that sound?" "Sounds good." Okay. Now, that is how you ask over the phone. Don't ask them at the end of the freaking phone call. Because if you go through all of this stuff and then say, "Oh, by the way, we need a credit card," it's just like the wrong time to ask. Ask them right from the beginning, give them time to grab it. And if they can't do it, if they're not about it, you're not going to waste their time. You're not going to waste your time. Okay. So I know that that might be scary for some people, but the first time you do this stuff, it's going to be scary. The second time you do it, it's going to be a little scary. The third time, it's going to be still scary, but not as scary. And then as you do it over and over and it becomes part of what you do, you're not going to be scared. You're going to be empowered. And it's not going to give you anxiety to tell someone that you're worth the time. Don't blow me off and let me sit here for 3 hours. It's incredibly rude. Who would ever do that? Like, who would ever, like, if me and you had a date and it was a 3-hour date and I just didn't come and left you there, like, that is incredibly rude. It's incredibly rude. So, you shouldn't feel bad about these things. And the only time we feel bad is when we don't know what to say or if our experience doesn't match what we're asking in return from our customers. So if I'm going to ask all of these things, but I'm going to quadruple book you, not pay attention, overcharge you, and your hair's not going to come out right, that's not going to fit. So you really have to think about the kind of experience you're offering, and really what you expect in return, because it's all about relationships in this business. Now, what if my clients don't like these policies? So what if they don't like it? What if you share this and your client's like, I don't like putting my credit card out. I really don't like to, I don't feel comfortable with this. That's a tough conversation to have. And if you have one tough conversation a day, you're growing. And a lot of you haven't had a tough conversation in a really long time. A lot of it, life is pretty easy and we don't have tough conversations. We just are a doormat and we let things happen and we're not going to stand up for ourselves and we suffer in other ways. So instead of suffering in other ways, why don't we just rip the Band-Aid off, have one tough convo a day if we have to, and not have to deal with all of this miscommunication in the future. So if the guest doesn't like the policy, if they say, "Gina, I really don't want to put my card on file," you say, "Hey, Sally, I 100% understand, but I can assure you that everything is going to be safe and secure and encrypted. And the only time I'd ever charge you is if you were to no call, no show me. And you don't sound like you would do that. But I'm trying to grow my business here. I'm trying to have people take me more seriously and I'm trying to grow. And it would really mean a lot to me if this, if you would support me with this policy." And they're going to either be like, "Whoa, all right, cool." Or they're going to be like, "I just really don't want to." And then you're just going to be like, "All right, I appreciate your honesty. Cool. But, I'm not going to be able to book you for future appointments, or you're going to have an answer for whatever you're talking about." So if it's putting card on file and they don't want to put a card on file, you could just be like, "Yeah, we can still book you, but you're only going to be able to book on that day. I can't book in advance." And that's fine. Some guests won't. Now, it's going to be 1 in 50 who are going to give you an issue. If you have a clientele of discounters, of people who don't take you seriously, you are going to have an issue, but you created this mess. Most of the time, we have created the mess. And if you really want to change, you're going to have way more than one difficult conversation a day. You're going to have a lot of people who are not going to be into this. You're going to have people who are going to give you shit about it. But if you want to get out of it, you have to do the work and you have to deal with the discomfort of it. You can't just like keep letting it go. So if your goal is to elevate your business, but you have a lot of discounters, you have people who no show, you have people who don't take you seriously. If this has become like a hobby for you, this is going to be a difficult process. So you're going to have to ramp up your marketing times 10 because you're probably going to lose people who are giving you anxiety outside of the salon anyway. Okay. So basically, short answer is some will, some won't, so what? So you're going to have some shitty conversations. You're going to have to stick by this, and you're going to have some solutions for if they don't want to. If they don't want to, yeah, that's totally fine, Sally. You don't have to put your card. I just can't pre-book you out, which may make it harder for you to get your appointments. And please just know it's because X, Y, and Z. Now, if you have a guest who's been seeing you for 10 years, who has never no called, no showed, who doesn't want to put the card on file, if it's not going to mess everything up, just let it go. Just let it go. Sally can pre-book. If she's never no-showed you and you know if she no-shows, she's like sick and dying or something, don't make a big deal about it. 9 out of 10 people are going to be fine with this. The people who give you shit about it, if they are the ones who no-show, if they're the ones pushing back and you don't want to lose them, be like, all right, I have a solution for you. You can call ahead and book like for that day, but I can't book out long appointments in the future just because like I have to make sure that they're backed by something. And you know, some people won't like it and sucks to suck. I'm sorry. Right? You know, it's hard and you have to make those decisions, but I'm telling you, out of 100 guests, 5-ish are going to give you a big issue with this and probably not come back and probably make you question everything. These 5 people are going to be the only people you think about, but you cannot think about them because they don't care about your brand. They don't care about you. They care about themselves and their schedule, which is what the most of the world cares about, right? Don't think about them. Only people you're going to want to think about are them. Those are the only people that you're going to want to think about. The people you have to think about are the people who are just like, yeah, this is great. Awesome. Like, don't even give you a question about it. Those are the people you think about and spend your time serving. Don't serve the people who don't respect and appreciate the brand. Don't worry about them. It's usually a very small amount of people, very small. And if they don't come back, they don't come back. And when those people go, it opens the door and the energy for new, amazing people to come in. And when you have the gatekeeper of a cancellation policy and a credit card on file, you'll be very surprised the level of amazing people who will come to you because they value appointments and they value your time. If they value your time enough to put a card on file, they will value your time enough to respect and listen to you, and you'll be a much better experience doing hair. So that's my advice there. What if I need more support? You guys, if you need more support with consultations, we have one more class for you where we're going to talk about photo breakdown. We're going to talk about that multi-step color agreement. We're going to talk about consultation questions. So we're going to talk about all of that for you guys. And that's going to really close our consultation class. At the end of it, you really should feel comfortable and confident, but where you're going to notice the growth is through your experience over time. Over the next couple of months, add these tips and tricks into your consultation, implement some of these systems, try everything out, find your own words, find your own flow, and really like watch your business grow and expand, because I promise you, you guys, it's going to work and it's going to help. And even if you only take a couple of things away from this presentation, even if you take 1 or 2 things, everything that you've listened and learned, your subconscious mind has taken in, you're thinking about it. And then when the guest does sit down, your brain's going to remember and say, oh, yeah, this could happen. Let me ask. And you sitting here and absorbing this information is going to help you grow. So good job. I'm proud of you for doing that. If you need anything else, you can always visit ginabianca.com. There you can find our mastermind group. You can find more classes. You can find all the kinds of things that we do. And you can always reach out to me at I am Gina Bianca on Instagram. So I hope I talk to you guys soon. We'll get into the next lesson, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.